Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Weekly Gab with Share Bear. And today I've been doing some research on trying to find things for Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is a little bit harder holiday um, as far as decorations and food and all that stuff that I did in October. So this month and December will be a lot more fun. It's going to be a blast. So this month, I've decided to kind of focus just on the mental health issues of holidays. So hopefully, we're not too boring. I did want to do a fun fact in this week, but I didn't have time to get one set up. So I definitely will have a fun fact next week, maybe a couple of them. So we're going to focus mostly on stress. Um, Being with the big meal of the month, a lot of stressful issues with the big meal, especially if you're the one that's hosting the dinner. Um, Becomes stressful for making sure that everybody maybe have a place to sleep and to relax if they're staying at your place or if they're staying in hotels or what the issue is there, making sure all the food is prepped and ready to go and everything done on time. Um, so I understand the pressure. Unfortunately, I'll tell you something. I don't have to worry about that anymore, which kind of sucks for me, I'll tell you. I love Thanksgiving meal. I actually love making big meals and hosting gatherings. It's one of my favorite things to do. To me, the stress of it is an enjoyable stress. I love the stress. I love the hecticness of it. So, you know, I'm actually more stressed, I guess not really more stressed, but stressed on the opposite side because I don't have to worry about any of that. I'm just like sitting here and waiting till I go over to my son's house. So it kind of sucks. I'm hoping that maybe next year, even though my house is a little bit smaller, and that's mainly why we have it over there, I think, that maybe I can host something at my house and arrange all that. Because, like I said, I miss it. I love it. So it's kind of making me sad because I don't. So I've got to try to push that aside of the depression of that. So um, yeah, I just kind of wanted to throw that in, I guess. But for the rest of you, that may seem stressful. Um, some things that to think about is plan ahead and prepare. Um, and make sure you take a break. Set reasonable goals. Those are just kind of a short term thingy. We're going to get more into that. Um, Stress is being overwhelmed or unable to cope with mental or emotional pressures. Okay? And nearly 84% say that concerns such as not having enough money, missing loved ones, accept, um, accepting family conflict cause stress during this time. And 41% of people say their stress increases, and that during the holidays, and that stress interferes with the ability to enjoy the time. And some say it feels like it's a competition, which the competition part I can understand because I admit I'm that way when it would come to any holiday, really, and still kind of am, with, making everything perfect and being better than they experience somewhere else. So, and that's sorry, didn't mean to yell. That's not really on anybody else. I don't think. I think that's more myself, and that's part of my just having to be perfect, type thing, and acceptance that I guess you'd say kind of need. I don't know if it's really need, but part of my past or whatever it was, it's something that's just I had to have type thing. And of course, if I didn't get that feeling, it wouldn't even be that people tell me, oh, everything was great, it was perfect, it was really good, you did a good job. It's still, if I didn't feel, if I had just messed up on one little thing, or if I didn't feel it was perfect, then I was a failure. It didn't matter what other people said. So, some of the things that will help with coping with stress during the holidays is, like I said, plan ahead and prepare. Um, take a break if you need to, if you feel a little bit too overwhelmed. Step away for a minute from whatever you're doing, or if it's the day of, go to another room for a minute. Take a walk. Winter walks is not only an easy source of exercise, but sunlight offers a feel-good burst of, what's the word? Scenariation? It was chemical in your body. I apologize. I like to say, oh, I better, because I didn't get this done last night, I better get started, so I forgot to look up the pronunciation of that word again. Since, like I've said many times, I don't have a partner to sit there and give me a hard time about my talking, my way of speech. But there's an old saying, you can please some people all the time, and you can please all people some of the time, but you can't please all people all the time. So keep that in mind. I think it's a good saying for right now. And something I definitely need to work on more. That's for sure. I want to please everybody. Don't be like me. Do as I say, not as I do. How's that? Because I am working on that stuff. I really am. Like I've said before, this is a lot of the stuff that we go through in the next couple months with this. I'm still in the process of working on. So to me, this is not only to help others, but it's also to help me. Because sometimes, at least, recognizing the things that I do, I'm more aware, I'm more alert to it and acceptable when I sit there and actually say them out loud. It's like, oh, okay, this is, what's wrong, and I need to work on that stuff. And then, of course, looking up these things like, oh, okay, I'll try this or I'll try that, and seeing how much it would help out. I wanted to bring up that when I was doing some of this, I found wall decor in Etsy, and I actually want to get this myself, but it's a little poster that says simple ways to defeat stress, and then it has a whole bunch of different things on it, and it's only $5, so it's really something that could come in handy of not only during the holidays, so you can put it on your wall, but even just every day to deal with everyday stress. I just know that during the holiday stress is even more, but a lot of us have the everyday stress, don't we? And so a lot of these steps and tips will go for not just the holidays, but for every day, of course. Um, Realistic goals for your family. Um, get don't set too high of a goals with and get comfortable with the idea that you don't have to do everything yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect. Ask for help. And like I said, it all comes to, setting those simple goals, and it will help because if you set small goals like, okay, today I'm going to bake the pies, and you get that finished, you feel like you've achieved something because you actually finished it and got it all done within that time limit that you set. And so that can, of course, help you move on to the next thing a lot easier, a lot more comfortable, relaxed. Um, and I think you'll definitely get things done and not feel that pressure. So, and there's a lot that I'll probably be sitting there mentioning more than once, like the asking for help. Um, so yeah, it's a big one, but there'll be, I'm sure, others. Um, do less. Don't like I said, ask for help. Have maybe some other people make some of the dishes. Have people when they're there, when your guests get there, something like that, help you prepare things. Maybe set, get the decoration type things out or something. Um, when you do your to-do list or look at the calendar, be fair to yourself. Decide what is most important to you and allow yourself to say no to other things. Um, don't don't think you have to, like I said before, do everything. Um, if somebody comes and asks you to do something or whatever, and you realize I have to get this stuff done, don't be like, oh, okay, I'll do that. I'll get back to it, whatever, or I can do that. Both of them, I have a bad habit of doing that. It's the pleasing everybody, I think, thing. Um, so yeah, because I'll sit there and then sometimes that's where some of my things mess up. Um, I'll my food won't come out exactly right because I was doing other things at the same time, so I wasn't concentrating on that one thing as much. So I may like overcook some noodles or undercook some noodles, or mashed potatoes got burnt, whatever. My double eggs aren't cut right, things like that. And then of course I get totally upset with myself. Um, isn't that isn't that kind of sad or whatever? I mean, you sit here and you listen to me say these things, and I'm like getting upset with myself over the littlest stupid things. Um, that's something that I need to work on. That's something I do a lot of, and unfortunately, it makes me spiral a lot into a whole rabbit hole, I guess you could say. Then I end up with, anxiety, panic attacks, depression, the whole bit. So don't get yourself like that in the holidays. It's a good time. And like I said in the last video, you don't have to be happy the whole time, but you shouldn't let little things get you down like that end up ruining the whole day, because then it just ruins everything. Oh. Um, I don't remember last year very much. But I know usually every holiday, um, since my kids have moved out anyway, I guess you could say, because that's when I stopped hosting the holiday. It's been hard for me. It's been sad. And Christmas, I know we're not quite there yet, but that's the really hard one for me. Christmas is one of my biggest favorite holidays, and I just always, even though I know it's not about the gift giving, it's the thing that I like to do the most. The more gifts I have for my family, the better I feel. I love to spoil them, especially the grandkids. And when I can't buy everything that I'd like to, I mean, I'll be honest, there was, back in the day I used to sit there and, postpone some bills. I would pay only half of some bills, or I wouldn't pay any bill, whatever, and which ended up kind of being bad for me because then I'd be behind. I used to be able to make up for it when the income tax return came and got everybody caught up and everything like that. But now that it's just me half the time, I'm lucky if I get income tax back. So I'm trying to get a little better. So last year and the year before that last year was a little bit better. But I mean, I'm used to having practically my whole, one wall practically full of presents for everybody. So hopefully, I don't know, the kids are getting a little harder to shop for. They're not as easy as they used to be. So now it's kind of like maybe one present, but my grandkids still, I want to give them the world. I'm sure some of you know that. But, off the subject there, I think we went to. Let's get back on track. So don't forget that it's okay to say no. Don't overdo yourself. Don't overwork yourself. It does no good for you or the people around you if you let things get, down and out. And don't forget to reach out for help. And I want to talk about another thing that loneliness is depression's best friend. So, and social loneliness is a thing too. Social isolation is a thing. You may be around a lot of people, but still feel lonely. And that's why I brought up loneliness. So don't let yourself get to that part. And even though you may be having feelings of loneliness and isolation, which can spike between October and January, try to avoid long times of isolation, long periods of isolation, because I know I've sat there and talked about taking a break and going to another room for a while. It's good, or even a walk, or, doing something different. Go out to the living room and have a conversation with everybody, or play a game real quick and then go back to your duties. You don't want to take a long time isolating yourself from everybody, because that's just going to make you go down another deep rabbit hole and maybe end up in depression. When a person does not have relationship or contact with others and has little to no social support, can lead to, and that's what social isolation is. And so we need to make sure that we can stay in contact and communication with everybody so that we don't take that long of a time of social isolation, which I actually never thought about, I guess. I don't know. That word anyway. I kind of had to look it up to see what I never even, considered that. I know that I guess I feel kind of the same way when I'm a lot of times when I have a lot of people around me still. I still feel the loneliness. The, I guess, departure of them all, this disconnection, I guess. And of course, that's probably still all in my head. But so then, yeah, I feel like I should just go away and leave because it would be just the same. I mean, what's the point of being around everybody if I'm not around everybody? So I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of all over the place this time, I think. But remember, you can only control the present moment, and we can plan for tomorrow. That's all. Just remember that. You can't control everything and everyone, okay? And again, ask for help. Always ask for help. Don't forget that communication of asking for help. That throughout my life, I guess, that was the biggest thing. Never asking for help. Never talking to someone about really anything. And it's something that I learned now that it's okay. Remember that. I must strongly put that down right now, that it is okay. You hear me? It is okay to ask for help. You are not alone in a lot of situations, problems, anything. As simple as you can't figure out what to wear for the day. You're not the only one. Ask for help. Ask for help. And basically, on that note today, I mean, that's going to be all I have to say, I guess. My goodness. Ask for help. So until next week, on our next depressing issue. And like I said, I'll get some fun facts in there and stuff like that we can talk about. And I don't know, maybe I'll find something more interesting again too on Thanksgiving, and we'll talk a little bit more on that. But for now, stay happy, care for one another, love one another, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.